Another episode, another subplot, this one threatening to derail the exact thing that Kirkman has been working for. We'll talk about that and much more coming up next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This is a laid-back song. If anyone knows it, it's actually Surprise, Surprise by Bruce Springsteen. And I feel like it's appropriate because guess what? Another episode, another surprise. Who would have seen that one coming? Thank you guys for joining us. I am your lead host, Michael Clouse. You can follow me on Instagram at TheOnlyMC, on Twitter at Michael Clouse TV. I'm joined by my beautiful co-hosts who are laughing because I don't think you know this song.
I don't.
Look at they are not aware of Bruce Springsteen. He's the best.
This is an interesting song choice.
So, introduce yourselves, ladies.
What's up, guys? I'm your host, Christine Alexis. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Christine Beam.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel.
Well, let's be honest. We saw it coming. We knew it was going to happen. Right? Are we surprised anymore about the things that happen in this show and that there's going to be a new development every week? And the developments that we want to see, the ones with Hannah, and, you know, what is going on with the future vice president, don't get answered.
I feel like they just get the least amount of airtime. Like, why is that pivotal scene at the end that I wanted to know about with Kimball and, I'm blanking right now on the VP, McLeish. Why was that at the end for 2 seconds, but I had to watch, you know, Tom and Leo look at an envelope for like 15. I didn't want to see that.
Yeah, I guess we did get one thing, and there's two things I guess we did get solved in this episode. One is Leo knows that Kirkman is his dad. We got that settled with the letter. And then Seth and reporter Jordan are done. By the way, everyone who's joining us on the live chat, a lot of people in here. Ariadne, I remember how to pronounce your name. Ivan's in there, Chaos is in there, so thank you very much for joining us, and we're certainly listening to all you guys. Yeah, it just, not a lot of answers, and, you know, I kept looking at the clock every time of being like, okay, we got 15 minutes left in the show, are we going to talk about this is plot? Are we going to have Hannah come forward and say, hey, this is... You know, this is what's going on. This is what's going on with McLeish. This is what I know about Atwood. No, do you know anything? No.
Yeah, that was really frustrating. I was getting very angry watching that scene. However, I get it. Like, I wish I didn't get it, but I get it. They're tracking your phone. They're listening. They know what's up. She knows they're dangerous. I get it. However, like, maybe, you know, if that meeting's a high priority, maybe not wait, like, several hours to have it. And maybe Hannah be a little more discreet and, like, look to see if someone else sees you taking pictures of Jason. Like, you're an FBI agent. I don't know, the whole thing just made me upset because still no one knows. No one knows McLeish is bad. No one knows.
Nobody knows.
It's very
well, people do know, but they're not saying anything.
Well, yes, 2 people know.
Yeah.
And one of them's now being locked away, and the other one's now being tracked. So, yay. Super fun.
Seemed like a rookie mistake that she would go out there with no backup and just...
With a car, just pull it right up. Like, you make it seem like you're looking behind, but no, you have 5 feet of car in front of you.
Also, like, Jason gave you information to help you. Like, use that. He gave you something. You were confused by it. Maybe be like, oh my God, we're FBI agents. We're going to problem solve. And then, like, look into it before following him. And then when you're following him, not even, like, ducking. Like, I feel as though that was very frustrating that she wouldn't think, these people are dangerous. Maybe someone else could see me taking photos, creating evidence.
It's not very stealth of her. She just... walked out like it was a normal day.
So, a couple things. One, Ivan agrees it's a very frustrating episode, so he's on our team. And then, who is this? Chaos says, I feel like Hannah also doesn't really know who to trust. Do you think that could be something of, obviously we're seeing a lot of things fluctuating and not knowing, you know, obviously with McLeish could be, you know, is a traitor. But is there other people? Do you think that is a case with Hannah if she doesn't know who to trust?
I don't think that's a reason why she didn't tell Aaron. However, I do think that it is 100% that someone else in the White House that we are close to is someone we cannot trust, that we do not know still. And that's going to be one of the plot twists for this season.
Is that what you were talking about with the tease that they were talking about for next week of there's a traitor?
That's what they're talking
Can't
about.
use
That's
that?
going to be a plot twist. It's
But you
what
don't think they're
do.
talking about McLeish?
No.
Really?
We know about McLeish. And if they're
But the
going to have
president doesn't know about McLeish.
Yeah, the president. It's not about it's not about the characters at this point. It's about the viewers and
Yeah.
getting satisfied. We want to be surprised. At this point, we wouldn't be. We know McLeish is bad. Yes, we would be surprised that the president finally knows what's going on. That would be a surprise for all of us. However, that's not going to be satisfying for us. So I'm giving them hope here. This is some faith that they are going to actually surprise us with someone that we are not expecting to be on the bad side, someone to be a double agent. That's what I want to see.
I just can't figure out who that would be, like genuinely at this point, because I feel like everyone, at least in my opinion, are just like one-dimensional characters. Like this is who they are, and they're either bad or good. I don't know. I just can't see it being.
Well, we certainly know
might be
the show is
exciting.
not against introducing something that completely just blows our mind, even if it is certainly not realistic. And this time we start out the episode with H5N1, which I originally thought was like the bird flu. What is that? That's H1N1?
Yeah,
This is
I think so.
H5N1. Sorry, I don't know my CDC classifications just yet. It is originally thought to be a strain of the flu, and it's ricin, which I feel like we've heard about before in terroristic circles. I think it is the powder or something that showed up. And the plot is to destroy, or to basically destroy the election, to cancel the election. Good plot, bad plot, what do you think?
I mean, it was nice. I'm glad they didn't go too into it. I get that it was just kind of like background storyline, so for us to hear about, so it's something else going on as opposed to just going into the murder of Nassar or just the McLeish thing. I get that they're trying to throw more at us to have new stories for just like a new plot for each episode. That's what it was this time. I'm happy they didn't go like too into it. And then there was that sweet moment at the end where he's like, yay, I did something because I went to vote and I made you guys vote. Woo, empowerment. So like that was nice, but it wasn't like crazy.
It did end on a happy note.
It ended on a happy note.
I think it was more for Tom Kirkman's storyline, just to show his character development and how he's connecting with everyone. And actually, the one thing I did like about that storyline was it gave us more insight to how the country's feeling about everything that's going on. That's the one thing I feel like is missing from this show. You never get to see like the public's reaction to things besides the little news blurbs that we get here and there, kind of letting us know what's going on in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So I like that we saw that, these people felt inspired by him. They're connecting to him. That's more for him. But otherwise, it just kind of kept the episode going along, like you said, just like a background filler to
I
have
don't
other
think
things
I
going.
don't think it's a bad plan. I'm glad in terms of subplots, if we're ranking subplots, I would say it was a decent one.
Yeah.
It's not, I would say, on the level of Leo finding out if Kirkman's his son, and we're like, really, this is what we're dealing with right now. I think it certainly flows into the whole Nassar thing and trying to basically bring down America, and I think it's a good plan. You're certainly trying to delay this election. They said that no election has ever been canceled, which I didn't know that. Fun fact. Do you feel bad for Kirkman? I certainly think in everything that we're seeing, I think maybe one of the main reasons that they're doing all this is try to show the stress that there is on a president. Do you feel bad for Kirkman?
No.
No? Someone asked that in the
kinda
live chat
do.
too earlier.
I just feel like at this point, it's like when he goes with his gut, it either blows up in his face or I don't know. I feel like he's confronted with all these difficult decisions and just clearly a lot of stress dealing with Leo and everything that's on his plate. Like you said, maybe it's just showing how much he has to deal with.
I mean, yeah, I think it like goes with the job. Like, I don't feel bad for him because he's the president of the United States and he should know what that comes with. But at the same time, he didn't really know what that would come with, so I get that. However, he did decide to take on this role. It wasn't like it was completely forced upon him. He could have said no. Leo, on the other hand, in that storyline, I do feel really, really bad for Tom. That must be really rough, having to race that guy. But like,
I feel like it's just frustrating. Like you have like a Ricin outbreak and you're just still dealing
then
with
you have
like
to
the
deal with
paternity
freaking
of your
Leo.
kid.
Yeah.
Like that just like, can we deal with that on the weekend? Like it just seems like too much.
And he just walks off. Just
Yeah.
completely just walks. And you're like, really? You're not going to talk about this? Not going to get this settled?
he's so frustrating.
Leo's a high and low type of person. And we saw both tonight. And thankfully, I hope that he's back to being in the middle. But there's no guarantee.
Looks like he left it alone for now.
I think you brought this up, didn't you? Because Ko says in here, I wouldn't mind hearing how the public feels about Kirkman other than just the reporters.
Yeah, I think that's what the show's missing.
Yeah, because we hear from all the bigwigs, but yeah, we don't see how the general public is like actually thinking about him. Not even just poll numbers, but like what it would mean to be a regular Joe in this society.
Exactly. That's what I'm missing to connect with this.
I totally get that. I just think that that's not, they're going for the angle of like just what happens in the White House and just their experience and all the things that they deal with, and like they're trying to show us they don't really deal with the people one-on-one. They do if there's a big problem, and then they talk to someone one-on-one with some people, as Tom Kirkman does. He calls people, he will talk to the people, but we don't see them every day out in life because Tom doesn't see them every day out in life. The White House doesn't see them every day. Like, that's why we're stuck kind of in the White House.
I get that, and I know it's a political show. Like, this is what they're exploring, the presidency and all that, but it's not without the people. I just feel like they could give us a little bit more. I mean, I would trade that for less Leo scenes. You know?
Oh my gosh, wouldn't anyone?
If you want exactly, if you want to add substance in some way, I think that'd be the way to go, rather than just the other fillers that we're getting, because something like that has never happened. Like, think about that happening right now. Like, I would want to know how everyone else is feeling.
I think even if you pick up a scene like in a coffee shop, and you have people like in line talking about this. Like, hey, can you believe what's happening here? What do you think?
That would be nice.
I mean, that would be an easy thing. I don't know. What's everyone think out there on the live chat?
For like an episode though, like if they did that every episode where they're like a scene in a coffee shop or like everyone's stuck in line, that would get a little repetitive. However,
you don't want to mix
do
Friends and
I want to be at that coffee shop from Friends. What was that called?
Central Perk.
Central Perk.
Central Perk. That's
you can
the
actually
one.
see it if you go on the Warner Brothers lot on a tour.
They had a pop-up last year too in New York.
Yeah, they did.
I love Friends. But yeah, I think that would get repetitive. However, I do totally agree with you that it would be a nice element for to add into the show. But I also understand just where, and we all do, where they're coming from and why they haven't shown us.
I mean, we're 8 episodes deep at this point. Like, I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably the next biggest subplot, which they didn't talk about, and it's more of seeing where it goes in future episodes, is the interesting dynamic that was laid out between the congressmen and congresswoman, congressman and not congressmen. I guess there's only one of each, congressman, congresswoman, and they certainly have a duel at the end where you basically realize that both are dirty, and like they've been like silently dirty, but now they're publicly dirty and admitting to each other of like, this is my play, this is my play. Do you see that coming?
No, because prior to that moment, I thought that they were both dirty playing for the same team. Like when I forgot.
We're talking about McLeish and Kimball right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys, I wasn't surprised at all. First of all, Kimball, we've known, wants to take over. She does it like quietly. She's like, oh, I'm waiting for my turn. No surprise. And then McLeish, we know he's doing it for other reasons. Like, automatically we knew that he wanted the VP position. And we're like, well, if the president dies, he would get it. But it's not a power play.
No, I'm more so of like them having that confrontation. Obviously, we knew of each of their, what they wanted.
But she doesn't know he's working with terrorists.
Yeah, I didn't think, I don't know, I thought maybe somehow later their storylines would connect and maybe they'd both be on like the adversary side wanting to take over the presidency, but I didn't see them competing against each other.
They certainly like drew a line in the sand. I mean, we've seen the past couple of weeks maybe where it's been like a decision and they'll have different views. Even beginning of this episode where he laid out something. It was the investigation of Atwood.
Right. Yeah. He said he wouldn't support it.
Yeah, and saying, should we have this investigation? And McLeish is like, I think there's bigger things for us to focus on. So they certainly has some differences, but the line in the sand.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to see where this will go. Do you think this will be like a complete adversarial thing, or do you think that they will work together knowing that they both want to get Kirkman out?
I feel like that's the predictable route to go. Like,
Were you saying that this show has not been predictable whatsoever?
No. I mean, it can continue to be more predictable and go that way and have them team up. And, if she, if he gets the presidency and she agrees to be VP for first term and then takes over or whatever the case is, like they both seem really manipulative. Maybe they might both team up against Kirkman but then turn on each other later. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think that she's planning on necessarily like teaming up against Kirkman. I think she's just like playing her cards right and then waiting until it's her time. I don't think she's going to try to sabotage the country to do that. I do think, and I think that sabotaging Tom Kirkman would be sabotaging the country. And I think McLeish, we already know, is going to sabotage. But I don't think it's going to be like butting heads necessarily. I do think that there will be times that Kimball will be like, did you do that? Like because McLeish will try to sabotage, and I think Kimball will catch on to it. And perhaps if Kimball realizes maybe he's a shady person, Kimball will eventually go to Tom Kirkman. I don't think Kimball's bad. I just think she's like deep in politics and wants the power and wants to be president. But she doesn't know McLeish is a terrorist. Or if he even is, but we'll get to that.
We'll see.
Something I just thought about with all this is they're really setting it up that McLeish is going to be in this for a while.
Just in the show?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about that, his identity is not going to be revealed for a while. As much as we want it, I'm literally just thinking that now of, are they leaving him in there and saying that this will be the new dynamic? Is McLeish kind of fighting there and his identity is not going to be revealed? Because otherwise, what's the point of them having that kind of line drawn in the sand of saying, here's how I'm going to feel, here's how I'm going to feel, we're going to be duking this out, basically, and we each have our own agendas, if McLeish is just going to be wiped away?
I feel like it was set up so that Kimball can later on help Tom Kirkman because it shows she's quick. I don't think it's going to be much of a, competition between the two as the show continues. I don't see that happening.
Ivan, I don't think we're going to get a relationship between Hook Stratton and McLeish. I'm sorry.
What? He's commented
in the live chat. He said Hook Stratton and McLeish sitting in a tree.
Oh my gosh, that would be the weirdest couple.
That would be weird.
Also, McLeish is married.
He's a politician though, so what does that mean? Oops. Sorry, I was expecting a comment back from that. Nothing. No, I don't know. I just as much as I want to have Hannah Wells say something, please say something, anything, admit anything that you know.
Right.
I don't think it's going to happen now that you've drawn that line that Hook Stratton and McLeish are going to be that fierce competition together.
That's a plot I wouldn't want to see, so I really hope they don't do that. That's so stupid. Like, she's waiting. It's not like they're both trying to, how can we get him out of here? How can we get him impeached? I don't think that's what she's going to try doing.
I do.
Do you think she's going to try everything in her power to get him impeached rather than just waiting?
No, not impeached, but to get him out, or to have something happen where he won't win however long till the next election.
Yeah, he will. That's the thing. That's what she is trying to do, is to get him next election, not to have him win.
Yeah, but if so
they're both in it for the long haul, really.
But if McLeish is number 2 as the VP, then that really doesn't do her any good.
Yeah, but we know McLeish is trying to take over sooner rather than later, as opposed to waiting for the next election. So that's why I don't see it being the same.
I see them maybe trying to set up a plot where Kirkman comes off really bad and then doesn't want to run again. And then it's like the powers of who is more powerful to be able to pick up the pieces and be the top dog in the next election cycle. Is it going to be McLeish as the VP spot, or is it going to be Hook Stratton as the Speaker of the House? Both on different sides of the aisle, both in very powerful positions. I see maybe that is where they're going. But how much longer can you how much longer can you possibly keep the McLeish information hidden?
I know.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of hurtful to the viewers. Give us something. How long are we supposed to stay interested in this if we're not getting, we're not being satisfied by the storyline?
Is anyone else, comment in the live chat, are anyone else at home literally just rolling their eyes when things happen? Or you stand up and are like, gah! Because we did that, what, 5 or 6 times
I was
watching
getting
the
very
show?
frustrated. Well,
Yeah.
because, okay, if they were going to leave this McLeish thing going on for so long, like the audience knows, no one else knows aside from Hannah and Jason, and they can't tell anyone,
Yes.
like, then don't tell us so early on, because as viewers watching just like their stupid plays every single episode of like, oh, but then they just missed it. Oh, but then we can't tell them. Oh, but Jason gave it away. Oh, Jason's kid got kidnapped. It's getting very frustrating for the viewers. I need the winter season finale. I need some sort of icebreaker with this. It's making me a little bit of a crazy person.
Yeah, I have to
Even
agree.
more so.
Even more so than I already am. By the way, follow my blog.
Ariadne says that I think Hookstratton is trying to get Tom out during his first term, or at least that's what it sounded like when she was talking with McLeish. So that's certainly, we'll see kind of where that goes. Talk about, we'll switch gears a little bit. Ivan says, I am Clouse, I'm getting sick of it. Thank you. Again, you're on our team. Ivan is completely aligned with us. Whatever political party we are, Ivan's aligned with
Pull up a
us.
chair.
It's awesome. Yeah, we didn't even mention the fact that Frank isn't here tonight. We're sorry about that, Frank, if you're listening. He is away on personal business and will join us back next week. So you are missed, Frank. But talking about one thing that is not, majorly divisive issues, the other thing that we kind of got solved is the situation between Seth and reporter Miss Jordan. Are you guys disappointed that they are not a couple anymore?
I just found that storyline now just to be a little bit boring.
I'm like indifferent to it.
It didn't even go
didn't
far
do
enough.
anything.
I wanted like a real backstab or heartbreak. Like I wanted something to happen. It felt very much like, I told you not to say that. And she was like, I didn't exactly say it. And it's like, oh well, let's just be professional. Like that's what it was. And it just didn't feel as dramatic as I wanted it to be. And if they wanted to make it more dramatic, they should have kept their romance going on a little bit longer and had something a little bit more serious happen between them. But what I think they're trying to do is eventually have like a flirtatious dynamic now go on throughout the show, and we're all like sexual tension, and then it won't happen for a long time, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I don't think they're done for good. I think there's gonna
Really?
be another
they're not done
situation
for
that
good.
comes up where he needs to tap back into that and get her to do something for him.
By tap back into that, you
I
are referring
mean,
to...
It's gonna be sexual tension for a long
Gotcha.
time, and then eventually they'll bone. But it's not gonna happen for a while. Let's be real, it's gonna happen. They're gonna get.
I don't think
it
you can
on.
say that they'll bone. I think it's more he'll bone. I don't think she's going to bone back. That would be even more awkward. You said they'll bone. It's more he.
It's
never mind.
it.
I understand what you're saying. I was just
Yeah.
giving you a hard time. But I did find it interesting, and I appreciated that Kirkman came in at the end and said, stay. I appreciate your journalism and searching for the truth, which is what this story was. Granted, it's more gossip journalism, but it's still journalism at its essence, and respected that.
Yeah, I agree with him. It's her job.
Yeah.
Not much more to it. She's a journalist. She's going to share the stories, share her truth.
She had an interesting line when she was talking to Seth. She's like just talking about not being silenced, and she said the president's relationship to the truth means something. And I think that's what they tried to bring home when Kirkman came back in to speak to her and told her, I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here and just try and be that stand-up guy and still continue to be honest and transparent. So maybe they'll
I
play
wish
into
it
that a
was
little
something
more.
more of journalistic integrity and actual hard-hitting truth, not is the son of the president not actually the
Yeah, the
president's
story
son.
wasn't a
that
good
sounds
idea,
like it'd
but-
wind up on page 6 or something like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's it's
It
the
kept
truth.
the story interesting, and it's one of those things. It's it's another thing of gossip that drama leads us on the edge of this show.
So did anything happen between them? What's her name?
Did they have
Lisa?
one date? They have one. Didn't they meet and
For
grab a bite
drinks
to eat?
in his office or something.
Yeah, they were working late or something like that.
He's like, oh, I can't, because he's very busy. So
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
very
oh,
busy,
meet me. I have a bottle.
but
of
I have a bottle of
something.
scotch. That's right.
Bottle of scotch.
Yeah. So maybe they already
Maybe. I would
put the
be
camera
surprising.
back on Renee so she can do that to the audience. Do it. No, you did the wink too.
I can't wink well.
Ooh.
If
I
I did
can't
that
wink
at a
at all.
bar, people would leave. Do you know what I'm saying?
You have something in your eye. What's?
They come over, they're like, are you okay?
It's dark in here. Why are you doing that?
Well, I guess it's a little early, but in terms of predictions, I guess there's a lot of things to talk about of where we think this will go. So let's go to predictions. because I just want to hear that music like we always do.
And now,
And be able to do this. I don't know why I'm doing it. Certainly a lot of things. The whole Atwood situation, how do you think it will play out?
I don't know. I think Agent Wells has to find a way to tell the truth and get him off, because he can't just take the fall for murdering Majid Nassar. I can't see that happening.
Yeah, I think that Hannah knows she's now being watched, so she's going to have to keep it low key, make them think that she's not on to them, and even if she is, she's going to keep her mouth shut. Because, I mean, they sent her the text. So I think she's going to do her own research, hope that she's not being followed, have that other guy, Craig, help out. And then the one thing I really, really, really want to bring up, because I want to see if anyone else thinks this, I found it very odd that they used the whole kidnapping thing in 2 different scenarios with McLeish and his wife, that I can't remember her name.
Yes, you pitched this.
Yeah,
Talk
with
about
McLeish
this.
and his wife, there was that awkward scene we've made fun of several times where the wife was like, yeah, she was missing, but like, yeah, I sent him a text. Okay, but then at the end of this episode, we kind of saw McLeish showing empathy a little bit, because he was like,
he talked like he was being held at will.
How many more innocent people have to get hurt? So here's my theory. It is a little far-fetched. Bear with me. I think that Jason and Jason's kid, I forget his name, Keith? What is his name? The kid?
Oh, the kid? Yeah, that's something I need to look up.
Jason's child, who was kidnapped, I think it's related to Luke, Jason's kid Luke. Him being kidnapped is related to McLeish's kid. I think McLeish's kid was kidnapped. I think that call that he received was on purpose done by them, and I think they said something about his kid being missing. We heard that the kid came back. I don't think the kid came back, because even Jason, when his kid was missing and he was freaking out, when he had to keep it cool, he told Hannah that the kid was at a friend's house. He also made it seem as though his kid was back. I think that conversation we saw at the end with that mystery woman, who I think was in Desperate Housewives, and McLeish is connected to kind of like the same like blackmailing, I'm holding your kid hostage kind of situation, and that's why McLeish is doing all that he is, because I don't think they would have shown us this empathetic side of him if he wasn't actually doing this against his will in some way. And then the kid connecting would make sense on this show, because otherwise, why would that be the excuse? And then why would Jason's kid also get kidnapped? That's a weird connection that I don't think they would have done on purpose, unless it wasn't just coincidence. At least I hope not.
It was interesting to see that empathy at the end of why. Why do you say how many more innocent people? Unless he's almost regretting his decision to go bad. Ivan says, by the way, no, McLeish is a monster all caps.
That's what I was going to question. I mean, are we questioning whether he's not like inherently evil? Like, he did take part, whether against his will or, you know, whether he was in on it. A bunch of people died at the Capitol bombing, so it's weird that now he's trying to show empathy. Like, was his strings being pulled?
So just so you know,
all
you're
along?
making it seem
Or-
like he was held captive after the bombing.
No, here's the thing. I think that the kid went missing while he was at the Capitol. I think he got a call telling him this information, telling him where to go. And then from there, he had to follow that. I don't think he knew from the beginning. I'm saying he did not know about the Capitol bombing. He didn't know that would happen. I think that this all started when he disappeared on the phone call. I don't think he was on the phone with his wife. I do think his wife knows that the kid is missing and what's going on, but I don't think anyone else does. Because I'm just saying, how weird would it be that his kid disappeared but then came back and it was nothing serious, and that was a little storyline they introduced to us that we're like, well, that's not real. But then having Jason's kid actually get kidnapped and then having this scene at the end of them talking, it just felt weird.
Sylvia likes your theory, by the way.
Thank you, Sylvia.
I mean, that could work.
I bet
That's
you also
a
like
stretch.
original Oreos. It's a stretch, but it could
Well,
work.
I mean, not that it's like completely far-fetched, but I mean, that's something I'd probably reveal at the very end, like in the finale, because there's a lot that has
But
to
they're dropping
connect
seeds
for them to get that.
Why have that scene, guys? Okay, think about just reasoning.
Unless they're predicting that McLeish will turn.
Maybe they're laying the groundwork for that.
Will he eventually realize the guilt is getting to him and he will turn? That's the other possibility. I'm just playing devil's advocate and throwing it out. The other possibility of him, feeling the guilt of so many people dying and being like, it's different to talk about it than it actually happening. And as the bodies are piling up, both of just actual dead bodies and lives that he's ruined, that it's gotten to him, and he will eventually turn and then help him catch Catalan.
That is possible. That's another idea, for sure.
It's a lot to talk about. Something else I was just about to point out. Oh, dang it. It involved McLeish somehow, and I am blanking. But we're still talking about predictions, so let's talk about, with the woman who got the text. So the woman who sent the text.
Oh.
So Hannah gets the text that says, no, don't say anything. They trace the text back to a number. She calls the number, and it's the number that she's been getting the information from.
Yeah.
So does that mean that woman is dirty?
That's unclear. I don't know why she would tell her to not give that information. Is she trying to help her and is telling her not to say something now?
Yes.
Because it'll benefit them later?
That number.
Yes, it was. That was the number that she called. Whereas that number has always been calling Hannah. That's the number that was traced from the text message that says, don't say anything. Because she was like,
why did you call? Like, how are you calling me?
Yes. And she was like 11:14. So the voice on the phone is bad?
Oh my gosh, I thought it was just, I missed that. I thought it was the woman, the redhead. I thought she got the redhead's number. I thought the redhead sent it.
No. So we think that the woman on the phone is bad because she...
No.
I don't think she's bad.
I think not bad. Then it is someone then Aaron's bad. Unless someone else was in the room that would have heard it. Or cameras. Yeah, because she's not bad. She's trying to give information.
But why would she send the text to Hannah that says, don't say anything?
Because if Aaron was bad, if she said something and Aaron was on the bad side, then that would make it worse.
So you think Aaron's bad?
I'm only saying this because I don't think that woman's... I don't think that woman's bad.
Yeah, I don't think she's bad. I think she's purposely telling Hannah not to say anything in that moment so that there will be a better opportunity for her to reveal the truth. Because, like you said, they can't... From Hannah's perspective and from that perspective, I guess they don't want to say anything to someone like Aaron because they don't know if he's... good or bad, but I think it's going to come out later in a different way. Like, Hannah's going to have another opportunity to either tell Kirkman directly or someone who can actually do something about it.
But at the same time, how does that woman have Hannah's... not even number. How does she know she was about to go in? It has to be someone on the inside, but I didn't really recognize that voice.
Ivan thinks that the woman on the phone is protecting Hannah.
Well, yeah,
I think so,
I don't
too.
even think just Hannah. I just think the situation.
She's somebody who clearly does not want to get involved. I don't know. Like,
I just think it's shady, and I don't think you would be protecting someone. I think that one person is trying to control everything, and I don't think she's trying to protect Hannah. I think she's trying to control the situation, which involves Hannah.
But then why give Hannah any lead whatsoever?
Because you're sending her down a path that you want her to go down.
So then, how would that not be?
Because eventually it will allow them to take out McLeish. Maybe just think about this. If the woman on the phone, whoever, wants to eventually get rid of McLeish, but McLeish is a pawn.
You think maybe that woman's somehow connected to Hook Stratton?
No, I mean, I would say that woman might be connected to someone bad, one of the terrorist cells, and the same cell that is using McLeish, but as a pawn. And so they're eventually going to use Hannah to take out McLeish, thus getting rid of any loose ends.
They'd have to get rid of her too.
Yep. But they're controlling the way that she kind of acts in the path that she goes down, whether she knows it or not. I'm just throwing out some theories.
That's an interesting theory.
I don't know about
Ivan
that
says
one.
the woman on the phone is a hacker, I bet. Ariadne says, I think the woman on the phone was unknowingly part of the plan and is now helping Hannah because she feels bad. I mean, there's a lot of theories, and if there's anything about this show, it's that we probably won't get any answers for at least another 9 weeks. Because they're not going to answer them next week. Any other predictions? What's a random thing that's going to happen next week that involves the entire country and a problem?
Leo won't be in the episode, is my prediction.
Maybe it'll be something with the First Lady. Maybe she will have her own little subplot line like she did a couple episodes ago. Who knows? I mean, at this point, anything goes.
I'm trying to, severe weather. We haven't touched on severe weather. If there's
Like a natural disaster?
Yeah, like a hurricane or an earthquake that the president needs to deal with. I mean, I'm just coming up with major national disasters that would come to the president's attention of places that he would need to go. I mean, with the show, we really don't know.
Would you
on the
wanna
live
watch
chat, what do you
that?
got? Do we want to watch some of the subplots that we've already seen? I'm just throwing out. What do you got in the live chat?
At least
I
they
want
had
the craziest
some
thing
twists.
you've seen.
Trying to give them some. Okay.
I mean,
what
don't
do
know.
you guys want to see in the finale? Like, what do you want answered the most?
I want just like to feel like backstabbed. I want to feel like, oh, I should have known it was that person. Oh, I want that.
I like your theory.
What theory?
That
with the kids?
theory with the kids.
Thanks. I should thank you. I think the camera. Thanks, Michael.
It's all right. Ivan says Aaron and Emily will go tangoing. Yeah, it's not that wild. That's something we haven't
where is
talked
their
about.
sexual
Where is their
tension?
tension? It's gone down the drain.
Now that
been
we
so much
lost
drama
Lisa
going
and
on.
Seth, I need some more sexual tension. I need some Aaron and Emily. Some Emily. That's a good ship name.
No.
Arnley.
No.
Arnley?
All right.
Arnley.
You guys keep you keep thinking about that. That is it for this episode. And here's the thing: if you're listening to this afterwards, you're hearing us mention a lot of people in the live chat, and we're very thankful for everyone in the live chat. You can join us every single week if you're listening to this. Every Wednesday we go on at 11 p.m. Pacific time. 2 a.m. Eastern. I know it's late.
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's late enough here that I can't really hear what I'm saying. But we'd love to have you. We join a lot of people here and obviously talk through a lot of theories. So until next week, you can find me on Instagram at TheOnlyMC, on Twitter at Clouse TV. Ladies?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Christine Bean. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the winter finale.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel, and check out my blog, catslipstickla.com.
There we go, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Follow us on iTunes. Give us a couple stars. Follow our podcast. Aaron Yelly.
Thanks, Steve. Aaron Neely.
We'll tweet out our
Aaron
best
Neely.
names for Aaron and Emily. Catch you next week. Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.